Hi guys, it's Debbie and this is FilmIsNow, and today I'm here to talk about a long-awaited trailer that just dropped. The trailer for The Forever Purge. This upcoming film, which will be released this July, is the fifth and final chapter in the Purge franchise, a series of movies based on the concept of the Purge, meaning one night a year in which every crime is legal, even murder, with no emergency services available, just one rogue night. Behind this concept lies the hope that the rest of the year people will be less inclined to commit crimes. And for how controversial it may seem, in the first movie it is shown that it actually kind of works. But as the saga progresses, the movies analyse how there's not only just the dilemma of whether this is morally acceptable, but how it ultimately affects society negatively. Poorer and more vulnerable people are put at risk because they can't lock themselves away in some super fancy barricaded house, businesses are ruined, loved ones are killed with psychological consequences, the homeless population has nowhere to stay safe throughout the Purge, and in addition to this, people stop using the Purge in the original way it was designed, and it spreads beyond the borders of the United States. People actually start traveling to America to participate in the Purge. Literally, there are people who will take a plane and fly to America basically to murder somebody or commit a robbery. It becomes more of an addiction, a need to purge, as some of the characters say. It's no longer just the government turning a blind eye for a night. And now we have reached the Forever Purge, in which the Purge ends, but some people just don't stop in their crimes, they continue, hence the Forever Purge. It just goes on. Because in this final chapter, a group of people turn up in broad daylight and they just continue their crimes, they just don't stop. So the first and most dramatic difference we can spot in this new trailer is that it is set during daytime, in broad daylight, so it definitely grounds it more in reality compared to some of the previous movies which focused more on giving that horror nightmare vibe. Another interesting fact we can spot from this new trailer is that although throughout the Purge movies people do come up with ingenious plans and traps, they are mostly just running around screaming and shooting and brandishing knives. Instead, right at the beginning of this new trailer, we see something which is more comparable to a Saw movie, with an ingenious trap that gets one of the protagonists stuck in a cage to the mercy of the killers. Of course, this is just a quick look into the film, and there will surely be more content about the Purge, more in-depth videos, so this is all just based on the first images, but it definitely gives off more the vibe of a Western action movie compared to the original urban horror setting. Some have actually compared this dystopian desert environment to Zack Snyder's new film Army of the Dead, and I can definitely see where that comparison is coming from. In general, all the Purge movies don't have a unifying theme beyond just the core concept of the Purge. For example, the first movie was more of a home invasion story, the third one dabbled more in politics. So it's not totally odd that this final chapter would yet again have a completely different setting. Because the thing people mostly like about the Purge movies is this innovative concept of crimes being legal. You as a viewer are challenged to ask yourself, is this something that is morally acceptable because after all we're animals and animals don't have laws when it comes down to violence and ultimately it benefits society, or whether this is something totally morally unacceptable and we are organized animals who work thanks to a society with laws, and after all, who am I to have the right to ruin another person's life, to end another person's life, and what about the innocent people who just get caught in the middle of all of this? That's the core interesting topic of these movies. That's what caught people's attention. Whether it may be in a creepy urban setting with a murderous prom queen driving in a car with Christmas lights, or on a ranch in Texas. Also, another thing that should be kept in mind when watching these Purge movies, and which I immediately thought upon seeing this final trailer, is that these movies are meant for fun, they're meant for entertainment. There is that core social dilemma, but all the rest of the action surrounding that is usually presented as a very unrealistic scenario. It's the same concept of the Fast and Furious movies. You don't watch them to complain that it's impossible for a car to dive from one skyscraper to another. or for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to stop a helicopter with his own bare hands. You just watch them because they're fun. And it's the same concept with the Purge movies. They offer that exaggerated thrill, which makes them incredibly just fun to watch. You don't expect a Tenet level of action. So as a person who enjoyed all the previous Purge movies, I'm pretty excited for this final chapter. I'm curious to see where the story will lead us, whichever way it is. But what do you think about this new trailer for the Forever Purge? What are your expectations for the movie? Let us know everything with a comment right below. Also remember to click below to subscribe, tap that notification bell to always stay up to date, and you can find more awesome content about movies and TV series clicking right here on the side. See you in the next video. Bye!